The wind began to blow fiercely, whipping the sand into whirlwinds. In the distance, the wheels of Egyptian chariots could be heard, and the shouts of the soldiers grew closer. The people of Israel were trapped between the sea and Pharaoh's army. In front of them, the black, heavy waves of the Red Sea. Behind them, the dust and the threat of death. "Where can you run when there is no road?" The people began to cry out. "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? To die here." Fear spread like fire, but Moses stood firm, looking to the heavens. The cloud that had guided them by day descended between the camps, darkness for the Egyptians, light for God's people. There was a brief silence, like a breath held before a miracle. Then Moses raised his staff. That old simple wood became the tool through which God would write one of the greatest miracles in history. The wind grew stronger, blowing from the east, and the waters began to move. The sea parted, forming huge walls of clear water, and in the middle a dry path appeared, a way where there had never been one. "Go," Moses shouted. And the people stepped between the walls of water, with hesitant steps, then hurried ones. Women held their children, men carried their burdens, the elderly wept. Above them, the waves stood still as if obeying a heavenly command. It was an impossible image. The sea opened, the path lit by the pillar of fire, and thousands of people walking through the midst of the deep. Behind them, the Egyptians saw the path and pursued them. The chariots rushed after the people, wheels screeching, horses neighing in fear. But where God opens a way for faith, there is no room for those who come with the sword. The ground softened, the wheels got stuck, and the roar of the sea began to rise. Moses reached the other shore. With his staff still raised, he watched his rescued people, and God told him, "Stretch out your hand over the sea again." Moses obeyed. The walls of water trembled, then collapsed with enormous force. In an instant the path was closed, and the waves covered the Egyptian army. The silence that followed was deep, only the sound of the sea returning to its place. On the shore the people looked back. Before them was freedom, behind them bondage swallowed by the waters. They fell to their knees, acknowledging that it was not their strength that saved them, but the hand of the one who can part the sea for those who believe. Miriam, Moses' sister, took up a tambourine, and the women began to sing, "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously." Their song was heard over the waves, carried by the wind that had once parted the sea. It was not just a song of joy, but a testimony for all future generations that God does not need roads to take you from slavery to freedom. He creates them. And no matter how big the waves, no matter how hard the nights, this story remains a sign for everyone. Where man sees the end, God sees the beginning. Where logic stops, faith continues.